Christian C1 review covering Las Vegas and the world. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button below and like this video to keep up with everything we have going on here at C1 Review in Las Vegas and beyond. We greatly appreciate. Yesterday we told you about how we believe the University of Florida, the 1 seed, is underrated. People are overlooking them, and how we believe they can win the national championship this year for the 2025 NCAA Tournament and, of course, be the national champion of college basketball. But today we're going to talk about, by the way, that video is below if you want to check it out. But today we're going to talk about some potential upsets for the NCAA Tournament. Now, let me just mention something to you. You know, some of you who are watching this are filling out your bracket, or they already have filled out their bracket, or are wondering, how do I fill out my bracket? And the reality of what it comes down to is, as somebody who won one bracket contest almost 20 years ago, probably more than 20 years ago, what I learned that 1 year is you have to do something that everyone else is not willing to do, meaning pick some upsets and pick some surprise bit winners. So I'm going to leave you with the following, and let's go over a couple of games for the first round that I believe can potentially be upsets and you need to look at. After North Carolina's gigantic win over tonight over San Diego State, they're now going to be playing Ole Miss on Friday, and if you can believe it, North Carolina as an 11 seed is a favorite against a 6 seed Ole Miss Rebels team. So you may want to focus on that, potentially taking North Carolina. Another one that people have continued to talk about is High Point over Purdue. Of course, Purdue were the runners-up last year in college basketball's national championship. High Point scores a lot of points. You know, these mid-majors and underdogs are always very inspired because they got nothing to lose and everything to gain. They believe that they, you know, may not even make it out of the first game, let alone to the Sweet 16. So High Point, take a look at High Point as a potential possibility. What I really want to focus on is UC San Diego, a 12 seed, is going to be playing Michigan. Of course, Michigan just won the Big Ten championship on Sunday, and they are a very small favorite over UC San Diego, who has 15 consecutive wins. And there is a reason why Michigan is such a small favorite. That's the kind of game where if you take UC San Diego and you're right, you're probably going to be ahead of a lot of other people's brackets, probably the majority of your pool and the majority of all brackets that are cast in the world, because most people are not going to take UC San Diego over Michigan. They're going to see the big school name, and they're just going to go for it, and they're going to take Michigan. And UC San Diego has a really good chance, in my opinion, to beat Michigan in this game. They only lost a couple of games the entire year. Another one that people are probably looking at is Colorado State over Memphis. Again, another 12 seed. Colorado State against the Memphis Tigers. You know, Colorado State has won 10 consecutive games. You know, I think that going into the NCAA tournament, these teams who are on winning streaks and have played really well, I think that does sometimes carry over into the NCAA tournament, and it does mean something. So focus on that. And then if you really want to get a little creative, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but Grand Canyon just won the WAC championship here at the Orleans Arena in Las Vegas on Saturday night here. Of course, the Orleans just west of the Las Vegas Strip. They score a lot of points. They just put up 89 points in the WAC championship final, you know, on Saturday night. They can score a lot of points. They're going to take on Maryland. 13 seed over a 4 seed Maryland. It can happen. Just something to absolutely think about when you're looking at the bracket if you want to do something different. Now, I'm going to give you one prediction that I think will absolutely happen in the bracket this year, and this is just my humble opinion. Again, we're not endorsing anything, we're not promoting anything, we're just giving our honest opinions and thoughts for fun on who we think can win these games. I think that Arkansas is going to beat Kansas, a 10 seed over a 7. You may not think that that's a big going out on the hill, but I think it absolutely is. John Calipari will have the Arkansas Razorbacks in his first season as head coach of the SEC school motivated. Kansas lost 12 games this year. This is not your mother's Kansas from the early 2000s, early 90s, and even mid-2000s. This Kansas team is struggling going into the NCAA tournament. my opinion. Take Arkansas, the number 10 seed Arkansas Razorbacks, to beat Kansas in the opening round. That is, a little bit of an upset, 10/7. So, thank me later if it ends up winning. I'm Chris Shinnick for CY Interview. Again, if you want to win that bracket, you got to do something different and creative. You can pick Florida, you can pick Duke, you can pick Auburn, you can pick Houston to win the bracket. You can, but you got to do some creative upsets and things that people aren't expecting along the way. If you want to end up standing out, being in the top, 5%, 1%, 3% of your bracket to have a chance to possibly win as we get longer and longer into the field and there's few teams left. I'm Chris Shinnick for C1 Review. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button below to keep up with everything we have going on in Las Vegas. Enjoy the madness that is March. Enjoy filling out your brackets. And remember, do what others are not willing to do.